Hi, happy Saturday. We're going to do a different book today. Instead of No Hope Beyond This Point, I'm going to do an illustration video, which I've shown other ones, but the illustrations I've shown were just ones I've done in my free time for fun. Not that I didn't do these ones in my free time for the same reason, but these ones I've actually published in a book. So I'm going to show two images that I did for the book. It's got a little glare on it from the light here. Let's see how I can angle this. I can't because there are just lights everywhere in this room. Oh, there we go. Anyways, it is hashtag cloudart is the name of the book. So, and I just took pictures of clouds and then did illustrations on them and then put them in a book. So the ones we're gonna do are this one. It was Gnome riding a dinosaur. And old man yelling at the sun. So these were the first two images that got me started on this book. That my daughter took both pictures for me because we were driving back home from my mom's house. I had pointed to them and said, "Can you take a picture of that?" And she's just like, "Okay." The old man yelling at the sun, she didn't understand what part of the cloud I wanted her to take a picture of, and she had taken a picture of the fist thinking that that looked like a man's face, and I wanted the bigger piece. So my illustration, unfortunately for me, is missing. It's kind of like Lemony Snicket's hair because that's how the cloud was, but it still turned out really well. And you'll be able to see the process because thankfully the app that I use on my phone to do my digital art records all of my strokes, which is super cool. So I just load that up and then edit like the time span because some parts need to be kind of slowed down and some parts sped up so that when I'm talking about my process, you can see what I'm talking about. Anyway, so I'm going to have both those. I will show them to you, my process, and that'll be it. Okay, I'm just going to jump right into it here with Gnome on a dinosaur. And I started with outlining the image that I saw in the cloud. Again, using my app on my phone, Ibis Paint. I gave the little gnome a backpack too, which I ended up coloring in. After I had it all outlined, like I resaved it and threw it into another file in Ibis Paint so I could color it in layers. And I know you're probably asking, well, why did you do that? And my answer is because I was new to Ibis Paint. Now I have been doing it for almost 2 years, so I would just keep it all in the same file and just start a new layer. I just used the airbrush setting, played with colors on what I wanted the gnome to look like. Decided that the dinosaur had to be hot pink because, I don't know, why not? I just thought it did a good contrast between the blue sky, green corn, and lime green of the gnome sitting on his back. I couldn't make up my mind what shade of beard he should have. As you can see, I changed it at least 3 times. And then I thought it was too bright and was kind of hiding the clouds that actually made up the image, so I made it transparent. Changed the opacity. I added a bit more white to the tail ridges of the dinosaur, just to give it a little pop. So there you go, Gnome on a dinosaur. And if anybody wants to tell me what kind of dinosaur they think it is, let me know in the comments. I simply just followed the outline that the clouds provided, but I'm sure there's a dinosaur that this resembles. And then the next one is Old Man Yelling at the Sun. I spent quite a bit of time trying to manipulate the image so it would look like the Lemony Snicket's hair had been in the original picture, but no matter what I did, it just looked bad and choppy. I do not possess photoshopping skills. So instead of trying to manipulate the image, I just accepted it as it was and started doing the outline for the old man. And you can see that my daughter's main focus was on the fist and not on the whole cloud that I saw. But there's nothing wrong with the fact that she saw a face in the fist. Imagination is subjective. Then I created another layer and I started coloring him in, giving him just a little pop, but not trying to hide the clouds behind it. And I have to say, I really love doing cloud art because it's just taking a picture and overlaying an outline of what you see in it, and then adding a little pop of color. So when I put it into Ibis Paint, I only have 3 layers. And then I don't merge them down until I'm done, and sometimes not even then, in case I change my mind on colors later on. There you go. Old man yelling at the sun. I hope you enjoy my video. Thank you. See you again in 2 weeks.